Rwanda ensiyange nenyumiririza nnyo mwekyo gemazima. Hello everybody.
My name is Faizo Kiwewa. I am the founder and the artistic director of Bayimba. Welcome to this year's edition of Doa Doa 2021. As you're all aware, we skipped our 8th edition to the 9th. Don't blame us, the world did skip a year, and so did we. Since 2008, we have organized festivals, trained stakeholders, and championed a performing arts market that has helped local artists to level with the rest of the world and the region. That's how Bayimba has contributed to the vibrant arts sector in Uganda. This edition of Doa Doa is thought to be a special one, quite different from the previous years. We are running it for 3 months, from May to July. Once a week, we'll host a speaker and one artist for 30 minutes. We are going to learn everything we can about them. Curated to give a glimpse of the performing arts industry, starting from right here, the future space for the Bayimba Center for Visual and Performing Arts on Lunkulo Island, to the Reykjavik Opera House in Iceland, India, Chile, USA, and South Africa. We are going to meet virtually with our friends, some of the most amazing game changers from around the world. They are going to tell us about their spaces, their initiatives, the opportunities, and the possibilities. We thought this edition of Doa Doa would take us around the world, and we think we owe our audience what others have got to offer, and hopefully they could be inspired. And our second speaker is Mark Ball from Manchester, the United Kingdom.
Hello to everyone at the Bayimba Foundation and welcome from Manchester and Manchester International Festival. I'm Mark Ball, the Creative Director here at MIF, where I'm responsible for working on the festival, but also developing the artistic programme for the factory, which is something I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later. And it's really wonderful to be here today, albeit by video. The history of Manchester International Festival is really tied in to the history of Manchester. Manchester is known as a city of invention. It's where the Industrial Revolution started, and ever since then the city has been making new things, from it being the birthplace of the trade union movement to the starting point of computing. Manchester is always about newness. It calls itself the original modern city. And so when the festival started in 2007, it really wanted to respond to that and to create a festival that uniquely would focus on new work. So everything that happens in Manchester International Festival, which happens every 2 years, has its world premiere in Manchester. We give an invitation for artists to be really adventurous, to come to the city, to try out new things, and to show things here first before taking it around the world. And we're particularly interested, with that spirit of invention, in really pushing the new. So much of the festival is about bringing artists together from different forms, different traditions, together into a collaborative space so that they can really test out new ideas and create new types of theatre, dance, opera and visual arts to really try and think about and imagine what the art of the future might look like. So the festival takes place every 2 years. It takes place across the whole city of Manchester. But at its DNA, at its heart, is the creation of that new work that I talked about, with artists from different forms coming together to create really, really new and exciting things. And just to give you some examples to illustrate that, recently we worked with the amazing Oscar-nominated actor Riz Ahmed to create a project called The Long Goodbye, where Riz really wanted to create a piece of work that looked at the impact of racism on immigrants into the UK and brought together not just his form of acting and theatre, but brought that together with dance, with visual culture, with digital culture to create a truly unique piece. More historically, we invited the amazing actor and director Kenneth Branagh to reimagine what Macbeth might look like in a beautiful old abandoned church in the heart of Manchester, creating a really epic but very intimate performance that allowed Kenneth Branagh to really play with the form of theatre making. Another landmark Manchester International Festival project, and one from its very first festival, was Monkey Journey to the West, which was a collaboration between the Chinese director Zhen Zhizhen, the pop musician Damon Albarn, and the illustrator and visual artist Jamie Hewlett. And together, they brought a whole new perspective on that very traditional, legendary story of Monkey Journey to the West, really bringing together the traditions of Chinese circus, choreography, design and popular music to create something that felt entirely new, that started life in Manchester and then went and travelled around the world. And to bring us up to date with a more recent project, we worked with the grime artist Skepta. Skepta was really wanting to try and create a new experience for audiences, a much more intimate live music event. I think he was fed up with playing gigs where audience members would watch him by holding up their mobile phones and would watch him mediated through a screen. So he wanted, as I say, to create something that felt much more immediate, much more intimate. So we worked with him to create and design an incredible set, to work with technologists, to build this visual world that Skepta created on this beautifully designed stage, with only a few people, 1,000 people crowded around him, to create again an entirely new type of live music event where mobile phones were in fact banned. We took them off the audience at the start of the gig. So the Byamba Foundation asked me about the sacred art forms of Manchester, and I guess if this city is defined by one thing, other than perhaps football, it's designed by music. This is a city that has given birth to a hugely great musical tradition that actually goes back, over a century, from the establishment of the Halle Orchestra. We now have the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra here as well. But more recently, really since the 1970s, an incredible explosion of popular music in the city, from Joy Division, New Order, the Stone Roses, Oasis. Manchester really being a cradle of great musical talent that's gone and been exported around the world. So in terms of music, which has really been at the heart of the festival, we've worked with some of the great artists from across the UK and from around the world. Artists like New Order, who I've referenced earlier, but we got them to actually collaborate with the visual artist Liam Gillick to really think about what a collaboration would mean for a live music event that brought together visual arts and music. We worked with Bjork, but again asking her to do something new, to imagine what a Bjork experience might be like in virtual reality. We worked with Abdou and Mariam, bringing them to the Whitworth Art Gallery in Manchester. So music has always been a really integral part of the festival, and it's one of the things that will really drive the programme in our new home, the Factory. One of the things that Faisal asked me to talk about were the opportunities for artists from East Africa to engage with the festival. We've had a tradition of working with artists from across Africa. I mentioned Abdou and Mariam. We're working currently with the South African choreographer Greg Makoma. And actually, really excitingly, we're developing a long-term relationship with the amazing Homecoming Festival in Lagos, a festival that celebrates the best of Nigerian and West African design, art, culture, fashion and music. And we'll be bringing that to Manchester in this year's festival as a start of a longer term relationship. And we'd love to work more with artists from East Africa as well. And we're always open to ideas. We're always open to collaboration. So please, if you've got ideas for what you think might work in the festival or relationships that you think you might want to build with us in Manchester, please just get in touch. We really do want to be open to new ideas. So I'm going to end by talking about two really exciting things. The first is that in a year which we've all faced huge difficulty and huge uncertainty, we're absolutely delighted to be able to present another edition of Manchester International Festival this July, made and created through all of the difficulties and all of the restrictions of COVID. But we've worked hard to pull together artists from the UK and some international artists to create a really special moment over the first 18 days in July in Manchester. A moment that will bring people back into the city, that will allow them to congregate and to reflect on the year that's just gone, to think about what's happened, but also, importantly, to really find moments of collective joy, something that I think we've all been longing for over the past difficult 12 months. And finally, the thing that I'm actually working on most is The Factory. The Factory will be Manchester International Festival's new year-round home. It's being built right in the heart of Manchester, and it will give a year-round invitation for artists to be their most adventurous, where we'll be able to provide artists with new commissions and new opportunities to present their work, not just every 2 years in the festival, but now in an incredible new space, every day of the year. And I'm thrilled that we're only 18 months away from opening The Factory, and it's a really, really unique space. It's a space where we're going to invite artists to be their most ambitious, to make work of scale. I was incredibly excited the other day to be able to go for the first time in over a year because of COVID onto the Factory site and to stand inside that building and to have seen it develop and grow, which I've only been able to do virtually or by looking at photographs, but to see it in the space and to understand its scale and its possibilities. This really is an incredible building that's going to allow artists to create hugely ambitious work of scale in a purposely designed building. So we're really excited about the potential for artists from all over the world to come and be their most creative, not just in the festival, but in the Factory as well. In July, we really look forward to welcoming you to Manchester, whether that's in person or online, and you can catch up with lots of things that are going on in the festival via our website. There'll be a lot of work that's shown online. So if you can't join us in Manchester, please do log on and you'll be able to engage with performances and all sorts of activities and really get a sense and flavour of the festival. So I really do hope that you join us then. And as I say, we really are open to great ideas, to great conversations about how you might want to work with us. So please do, at any time, get in touch. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of Doa Doa 2021 virtual docu-series. As you've heard from the amazing speaker, now you're going to get to know the artist. This week's In Focus artist is Jemima. She's one of the greatest performers of this country, and that's why she got herself the name The Gladiator. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
I'm a Ugandan. I'm a Ugandan. Nyuma nyuma emirimu tulina wona kalimu kokola okera kulela ngaloli monna Uganda wana bachi nyuma nyuma mukamabo tulina
Ndimuna Uganda nenyumiririza nyomwecho njagala nyonze Ndimuna Uganda ensi yange nenyumiririza nyomwecho gemazima. Hello everybody. Welcome to Doa Doa. I'm called Jemima Sanyu. I'm from Uganda, Kampala. Yeah. I'm a singer. I started doing music when I was still a very little girl in church. Jemima, People call me the stage gladiator. You can't see that now when I'm talking, but when I get on stage, I become furious. Yeah, I have this energy, I have this passion, and that is what makes me a gladiator. It's like a battlefield when I'm on stage, but I don't do it alone. It's not normally with a team that I work with. What has been my musical journey from childhood? I would say it wasn't an easy one, but my mom kept on pushing me. My mom was a singer in church, in a Catholic church, and she used to sing with us at home. Every time she would get moody, every time she would get happy, she would just make a choir. She had a choir of 5 little beautiful babies, and I was the firstborn. So most of the times, if she wasn't taking the lead, she would tell me, Jemima, please take the lead. And there was some simple song that she used to sing for us. Holy, 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 holy. So that grew, it grew in me. I grew up singing every day. We used to sing every day. So after, from home, I would go to school. Trust me, I was always in choir 24/7. Church, I was always in choir. I was in the worship team. I was singing in a church called JCC, Ginger Christian Center, way back in Ginger. When I went to university, I did something different. That was computer networking. I did a short course. Yeah. Then I tried to look for jobs around. Things failed. So that is when my husband came in. My husband, producer Legend P. He told me, but Jemima, you've tried everything and things have failed. Why don't you try singing? Why don't you take it to a professional level? You know? So I got in touch with his brother. His brother, actually 2 of his brothers, producer Henry Chiuwa and producer Steve Jean. So they kept on pushing me. They kept on helping me. They gave me training, and I ended up this professional singer. We also started a band. It was a very simple band in the beginning, but later on it kept on growing. I got to meet people like Mr. Faizo Chiwewa. He has really been a great man in my journey. So many people, but Mr. Faizo Chiwewa has really done a great job. I've worked with people like producer Henry Chiuwa, producer Legend P, producer Steve Jean. Actually, it's in the family. And my brother, producer Big Nash.
Give me love, I give it to you. Give me love, then I give it to you. Give me love, I give it to you. Big Nash, Jemima, I give it to you. Hey!
What motivates me? There is a lot that motivates me, but mostly it's the people around me. The people around me. If you hurt me today, trust me, I'll write a good song about pain. Seriously. If you show me love, you know, if you hug, just a hug is enough for me to write a song. Yeah. Politics at times, you know, where I come from, it's just the daily life, the things that I look forward to as a musician. There are so many. There are so many. I kept on saying, oh, I want to be bigger than Angelique Kidjo. since I was a little kid. I want to be bigger than this lady who sang Malaika. Malaika, nakupenda. I used to look at such women and they used to motivate me. But I wanted to be more. Up to now, I still want to be more. Even when you look at my performances, trust me, I'm more.
Kati nze nawe tuseyeye mayengo naguno mukwano kutumbire nga kaveera baby nze nawe tuseyeye mayengo naguno mukwano kutumbire nga kaveera musangali musapatu natalina yadde ekikopo ne bakola wamu ne bezimba embeera nekyuka besuubiza ng'ebiri pure nga bayitana babiri peya.
Seriously, Jemima Sonny believes in God. First of all, I grew up in a godly family. We used to pray every day, morning, evening. There was a time I had to leave home. We had some issues, you know, how families, you know, my mom had to separate with my dad. They had to separate. And they took me to a pastor's home. Trust me, we would pray every day. So that really made me grow as a person, spiritually. It really helped me in the way I behave, treat other people. Yeah, in everything that I do, I have to make sure people see God. They see God. How do they see God? By doing good. Doing good. So I believe in God. I grew up in a very terrible family, you know. My dad was very, very, very tough. He used to beat us almost every day. Every day. Imagine every day, even without any reason. He'll just find you there sitting, doing nothing, and he'll just ask you, what are you doing? You know? And in case you didn't have any answer for that, he would beat you to death. He would make sure he first sees blood coming out of you. So that really brought pain, you know? It brought pain into my heart. Not me alone, even my siblings. Every time I open up my voice just to sing, I run away from all that pain. That's why I give it my all. That is where I get the strength from.
Najua tuliyokosana mimi na wewe, yeah. Hakunipa nafasi nikueleze ilianza je na iliwaje, na hawezi ona the truth in my eyes. The old me, they got you blind. Hey!
How I was brought up, the pain I went through just because mom and dad were not happy together, you know, and I had to suffer, you know, and being the firstborn, I had to make sure I'm in between these wars, you know, in between mom's wars, dad's wars, the in-laws. It was always chaos, chaos, chaos everywhere. So it really made me grow into this strong, you know, strong, understanding, reasonable girl, you know. So, and up to now, I still feel the pain, you know, because it's hard, yeah? It's hard to see your mother somewhere different, your father somewhere different, and it's you who has to, you know, keep on pulling them together. You know, no, we have to do this, we have, you know. So that really drives me, you know. So every time I sing, I just run away from that pain. Actually, I normally don't talk about this story. This is the first time it's coming out. It's the first time. But I really love people. So every time I'm performing, I just want to spread that love out of me to the world, you know, out of me to the audience, out of me to everyone watching, out of me to the little girls, you know, because I don't want people, I know people have different challenges, they have different families, they have different parents, you know. Some of us were not lucky, but trust me, many of the girls are also have not been lucky. So what I normally do is I don't want to bring that pain to them. So that is what I normally do. I just spread the love. This is a special song coming from Jemima Sanyo. I want to dedicate it to everyone watching Doa Doa. It talks about love that cannot just go away. Broken love, tears, scars. But you know, you have to keep on holding yourself to that person, you know. And I would really want to dedicate it especially to the girls, to the women who have been through what who have gone through what I went through when I was growing up with my father, my tough father. Because I still love him. I still respect him, you know. He's my father. I can never get another father. Okay. This love is so tall, it gets us high, we touch the sky. These tears and the scars are too strong, they rewind the time. This love is so tall, it gets us high, we touch the sky. These tears and the scars are too strong, they rewind the time. Ni wanafaa kubadilisha ilianzaje, iliwaje. Jemima loves Beyonce. I love Beyonce because of her energy, her performance, her voice, you know. She touches my heart, you know. I would really feel good to perform with that woman, you know. Having that Ugandan energy, joined together with, you know. I love Beyonce. Actually, even when you check my gallery, it's full of that lady. Her photos, her videos. I just love Beyonce. I won't specify that this is the kind of stage that I want to be on, you know. I just want to give myself room. Whatever comes my way is what I go with, you know. I just have to keep on being hopeful, you know. The stages are too many. There are too many. But trust me, whichever stage comes my way, trust me, Jemima can tear it down. Uh-oh! Is the world ready for me? It has to be. Am I ready for the world? Come on. I'm ready for the world, you know. During the COVID-19 season, yeah, actually it was a dead year because most of the venues where we were working from had to close down. The hotels, the restaurants, the bars, you know, the stages, Bayimba, we didn't do Bayimba, we didn't do Doa Doa. It was a lot. And there were some tours that we normally went to. They were all closed. Everything was shut down. What I decided to do was turn my energy to the studio, you know. So we recorded songs. I have songs like Bandage, Njagala Bandage, you know, and it's my husband, the producer, who produced it. I also have songs like Give Me Love, Give Me Love. That was my brother, Big Nash, who produced it, you know. So far, I have two producers working on me, Legend P and Big Nash. They're really putting in a lot because they know what I can do. And they love me, you know. They want the best from me. And I really appreciate that, you know. Where can people find my music? My music is everywhere. You can go to YouTube, yeah. I have all the videos there, all the audios there, all my social media platforms, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, SoundCloud, everywhere. Trust me, we try to put all the music out there for people to listen.
Thank you so much for joining this week's show, Doa Doa 2021. I hope you had some fun and got some inspiration. If you have any comment, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave your comment, or our Facebook page, Twitter or Instagram. We'll definitely get back to you. We are very grateful, and until next week, I remain your host, Faiz Okiwewa from Bayimba and the Doa Doa team. Keep it Doa Doa 2021.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
The Elders Wisdom Circle, episode 2 of the month of March 2021, the 6th of March 2021. My name is Eddie Okela, and welcome to the Elders Wisdom Circle, where we get to have the best conversation around the elder and with the elder all across the globe, starting from here in Kampala, Uganda, to the rest of the world. If you are Ugandan, you must be interested in this conversation. If you're an African, you must be interested in this conversation. Even if you're European or American or Asian, you must be interested in this conversation because it cuts across. We must always sit with our elders and we must always learn from the elders. The Chinese are doing quite an amazing job in trying to groom the young. What about the West is trying to do the same? The western part of the country, of the world, is trying to do the same. The western part of Uganda, northern part of Uganda, eastern part of Uganda, and the central part of Uganda is not doing very well. We need to put our 1.9%ers or 1%ers, Jaffa Raymond Amin. Today we are baptizing him as Jaffa Raymond Idi Amin Dada. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. It's a blessing.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
How does it make you feel like when you are dressed like that?
We love our parents, and it's a natural warmth comes in. Vis-a-vis, besides the point of the politics of the country, as a father, I always say he has always been nothing but a father.
I love that voice. And we want you to start this show today by celebrating your father. We are going to celebrate the Mother's Day on Monday, the Women's Day on Monday, and the Women's Day for us means Mother's Day.
Yes.
All right, in Africa and all across the world. So we want to celebrate the father who brought you to this world today on this show, and I want you to give us some of the most amazing thing that you can remember from your father? A father, not as Idi Amin, the president, but the father.
The nothing but a father to me.
Yes. Can you give us, sample that out and give us something that we can remember today? By the way, I like your new look. You look like him now. Now you've come alive.
But nobody.
Masrubo, how do you call this one?
Masrub. Yeah. No one has ever seen Amin as an old person. Jafar at 54 today. Yes. Is older than you ever saw him, because he was 51 when he was booted out.
Yes.
That's the irony.
So that's why, so that you are the typical embodiment of Amin.
What he could have been.
What he could have been at your age. So, let's sample this out. We're going to sample this out, and for many of you who don't know, Idi Amin Dada is the former president of the Republic of Uganda. I think it is known, or rather he is known for many things. And many of those things they talked about, we don't know the truth, some of us. For example, the 83-year-old born person like me may not know so much about what happened. The Changkwanzi resolution has also done so much to say so much, so I don't know which one is which.
I call it the Changkwanzi doctrine.
Doctrine, yeah.
It simply means they say, wipe the slate clean, and 86 is year zero.
And I always find that difficult, because there's also the 1960, 62.
There's a 1968 resolution. Moved to the left.
To the left.
Also, wiped out monarchism.
Yes. I don't think it wiped out the monarchism. I think it is what the Western world wanted us to believe that way, because from my father is totally something different. And it's an history I would want to have heard from your father. From Idi Amin Dada, if he was living today, I would want to ask him one question. Was it true that we actually did not rule? Because the other story we hear is that the Western world did not believe that. They said a combination of Obote and the Kabaka staying together, we will never rule these people. So they created something there. So I've never believed that there was a wiped out of monarchy. Because then when we ask question, where did the Kabaka go when he was dethroned? He was in England. The story that I read, he stayed in England, was frustrated, drank all this stuff, they mistreated him, and so many, gave him a wife, locked him in a house.
So humiliation.
Humiliation.
The politics of humiliation.
This is a king.
The politics of humiliation.
Exactly. And it has continued over and over in our history, and it's something that give us the foray into the question and the topic that is very pertinent to you and at the core of your life. And today,
can I input the pertinence of that point?
Yes.
Today we're living the politics of humiliation. Whether it's UPG, you bring my younger brother, you stand him up at iPod and ask him to say something. Yet you have frustrated his party. I'm just giving you politics of humiliation. Somebody calls me because they were discussing my mother in parliament and asking me to input. On Tuesday, they're going to discuss why she's not getting presidential emolument. I'm saying you're back to politics of privilege.
Yes.
You see, politics of humiliation, politics of privilege, and our mistaken notion of privileges that we believe are self-deserving. If you push that Jaffa is supposed to get this, I'll become a very selfish fellow and always expect, you eat 1 kilogram, I eat 3 kilograms of meat. When I don't get my 3 kilograms, I have to make noise. I know it's a presidential emolument, but I feel actually, how do I call it? I feel bad or sad when I find that's the only discussion we're having. Oh, the Amin family is supposed to have this. Oh, the Kabaka family is supposed to have this. Oh, the Obote family is deserving of this.
Is supposed to have this, yes.
What about those people who go home to sleep without food every day?
I think I want to defend it this way, Jaffa. And I
because it's part of the topic. I'm moving towards my topic.
Yes, and I want you to hold it right there, because we're going to dive into the topic right in a moment. And to First of all, I would like to welcome all of you all across the world. We are live from Kampala, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, to the rest of the continent and to the rest of the other 5 continents that you know, I think 5 or 7. We are live there. We're live on Facebook at House of Talent Uganda /HTV, and you will find us there. And we are live on our YouTube studio right there. Please, for those of you who are asking for the link, it is simple. Go to House of Talent Uganda, subscribe, be a part of this family, simply growing bigger and better every single day. And if you're on Twitter, for those of us who are corporates and want to be on Twitter, the Elders Wisdom Circle is on Twitter, streaming live at HTV1 Uganda. All right, so I want to welcome all the people
and
from
comments.
Yes,
and welcoming comments.
Yes, and your comments, by the way, we want to hear your comments. Kisses and disses are good for our growth.
Yes.
And just want to say this to you, to all the people who are watching the show from Australia, we deeply love you. We are really honored to have you. And to all the people in the United States of America, in the UK, in the Netherlands, in Denmark, all of you guys in Ireland, we love you. Those are people in Spain, and the people who live in Sweden, you make us happy. Thank you so much. We want all Ugandans in Boston, Ugandans in Boston and in Seattle. Please come back home. The land is here. This is the land of the living. Okay? We need you, the elders, to come back, and so that you can be part of the conversation with us. Jaffa, having welcomed everyone to these things, we're going to go back to the topic. And
you had asked me specifically of my father, characters of my father.
Yes, and before you say it, I was painting a picture when you say that we have that the monarchism.
I call it the politics of privilege.
That they were, so I want to just say this. If you are young like me, a Muganda, a Langi, an Acholi, a Munyankole, whatever you call yourself, we are 54 dialects in Uganda.
56 now.
56 now. We don't even know some of our histories. It's not written down. So sitting down with elders, picking the elders' mind, trying to make Jaffa at 52, 54 start thinking about writing a book.
Yeah, which we have done to try to understand who we are.
It's very important.
Very. We call it documenting.
Yes, because that's our history. Because we don't have that history today, we may not know what's going on. And so for you who are watching the show from there, please be part of this conversation and write to us, speak to us, okay? I know Edwin Chugula Omwendo in Germany, you always want this show to be interactive, and we are building the capacity to be able to make sure the show becomes more interactive and bringing you in. So Edwin and everyone there, thank you. Daniel Engoli in the United States of America, thank you. Welcome to the show. Jaffa.
Yes, please.
They are sleeping or they are about to wake up. Now, first thing first, I wanted you to take us down to the memory lane. And I am being very intentional about this as our elder.
Specific.
As a child, can you give us something that we can dive with right now and feel good and say, I don't know what I mean. I wasn't there. But I want to feel like a sense of understanding because he lives in you.
He lives in me, and the fact that when Jaffa does not smile, I'm a very scary person. Then you realize by my comments, when you realize by my comments, I have a deprecating attitude that's very British and very funny. Once you get to understand the irony of words, people start laughing, and then they realize that's how Mzee was. He was incredibly jolly. But if you try to put him down, he would actually point it to you in a very nice manner.
And he often punched you as well.
No. Mzee, one day we were sitting at the dining table, and I was discussing the issue of how Etiang brought us a kombi to the school in Kabale. And my father went, it was me. I said, no, Baba, it's Etiang. He's the Ministry of Transport and Works. He said, yeah, but I was the president who directed him to give every school in Uganda a brand new kombi, Volkswagen.
What is the Kombi Volkswagen? Please explain to us. We don't know this thing.
The people carrier, that beautiful.
The millennials will not understand that.
No, they know it because they were children of flower power, and that was the symbol of liberation. The Kombi.
Yes.
They picked iconic vehicles and gave to every school in Uganda.
Why don't we have these things today, Jaffa?
There's a man from Nigeria asking me questions about what's the significance of Amin in terms of education, in terms of hospitals.
Yes.
Then I realized the father of the nation set up a policy to build hospitals. But actually,
by the father of the nation,
Obote.
Okay.
But a rogue president who's called the head of state, not a president, implemented it 100%.
That's your
and actually built the
That's
23. He actually built the 23 hospitals.
Oh, he completed the 23. Which one?
He started and finished it. Obote had it on paper. And then he was
this
booted
coming
out.
from your father telling you this as an elder?
Everyone talks about it.
Okay.
I was sitting with Obura's son.
Yes.
He's called Okello.
Yes.
You must know him. He has his Uhuru Institute. And he was like, Jaffa, I actually went around seeing where these hospitals were. And the tree your father planted. And we were the same people who came in the 80s and started destroying what we felt we didn't find. But if you go and explain to them, no, that is Muzee Pachu. Pachu implemented, wrote this down, found the money for it, and an implementer had just happened to be my father.
Yes.
And these amazing things were built during his time. But each and every person today who's my age and above had free education and health.
That's what we hear, and I never had the free education, but I got the envelope on Uganda government service.
All I'm simply saying...
First wait, on Uganda government service. That envelope, whenever we get that envelope in school with pens.
In 94, something strange happened.
Yes.
We moved towards private sector.
Yeah.
And everyone frowned on the public education and health.
Yeah.
Somebody's charging you 8 million shillings for delivery. Something that costs absolutely nothing apart from you bringing your pail and stuff for delivery.
Yeah.
Huh? In the private sector, we're paying 8 million. Huh? Those are the differences.
Yes. I think the private sector existing is okay because
it is
the population,
perfect.
the population was
perfect.
growing and is going.
It is perfect.
Yes.
But coming to our subject today, where is our patriotism?
But first wait, you haven't yet given me the other thing. First wait, before we've given the preamble to the topic, Jaffa, but there's something I'm missing from you, which I need to get. You brought something very important, Jaffa. You've talked about Pacho, Dr. Milton
the
Obote,
father of the nation.
Father of the nation, giving that. We talked about the Kabaka of Buganda and the foray of the two coming together and building the nation then. Yes.
But for me, it wasn't really building. It was everybody saying whatever the British had taken, what is my share? A mistaken sense of what you deserve.
But aren't you like...
By the way, it feeds on the problem that this country is going through.
All right, we don't know that, but we want to get that from. But I want to feed from saying, the story where they say that there's a text when I read, and I stand to be corrected, when the gentleman says that we realized that if we allow the combination of Obote and the Kabaka to stay together, Uganda will become ungovernable for us. Therefore, we must devise the means of divide and rule. And so we caused that, making it look like it was Obote who was a problem, using Amin was a problem. But when you actually hear Amin's quote at some point in one of the address, he says something, says, the British promised me money. They never gave me the 10 million pounds they said they're going to give me. Even I found the market for my coffee. I'm going to sell my coffee to the Americans and you keep your money there. I don't want your money.
He was actually going against what is a disease today, the donor culture. We are a donor-driven nation. And yet for us, we think it's being advanced.
And there is something he said there also that, brought me into the understanding of, he said that, you see, many of my children are from Baganda women, I love them.
that came directly from Obote. When he got married to Mama Maria,
yes,
he practically told the rest of the cabinet,
yes,
that go and marry amongst these people. It is the way of bringing that synthesis.
Can you see that wisdom?
That synthesis.
Yes.
I call it a synthesis.
Synthesis, yes.
I am a synthesis of Uganda.
Please explain to me the primary school kid who doesn't
I have the stubbornness of a Musoga and the arrogance of a Kakwa. That is the synthesis of Jaffa.
All my Musoga friends will love
the stubbornness.
Nephew and nephew of yours is being.
But from us, from this royal corner, we always say we have Alamoji.
Yes.
And you say it with an arrogance. Now that's the problem where of the politics of privilege
comes in. Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh? Huh? Where I actually say, no, I'm not a Musoga. Look, they put the hands here. No. I'm a Muramoji.
Yes.
We are royals. That is the disease.
Yes, but you see,
the politics of privilege.
Yes, we need to learn that from the elders. So for me, what I'm saying is that if the Kabaka was taken up and Obote said this, that means that we have a very peaceful coexistence back in the days. That's why for me, serving the Buganda or being in Buganda and serving the king.
My king.
Yes. Your king.
My king.
Yes.
You have to take ownership.
Yes.
You know, serving my king.
Which is, yes. So I find that it's a privileged thing to do because maybe we have a king, but the history says this king was supreme to the rest of the kings. And you've seen that in the Bible.
Yeah.
You've seen that in the holy books. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that said, it means that the narrative given to us was wrong. First of all, in my view.
No, it was self-created by the British in order to rule.
Okay.
For them, there were these four privileged kingdoms,
yes,
and then there's chiefdoms or places like ours. For us, we're a republic.
Yes.
West Nile has always been a republic, first amongst equals. They will sit around the elders' wisdom circle
now
and
you
discuss until the morning.
Of privilege. You have started the
but I'm explaining it.
Has started, yes.
First amongst equals.
Yes.
When you have republican society like West Nile,
yes,
they sit around that fire until the morning. The decision comes around 5 in the morning. But we discussed this at 3. Now you bring it now here. Okay, let it pass.
Stephen Adrapi, this brother of yours and everyone from Arua and West Nile,
Republicans,
very proud man. But Jaffa, coming back to the show, I think wisdom number 1, you have stated it.
Yeah.
Let those who have the ear to hear it, hear it.
Let's move away from the politics of privilege.
Yes.
But have people being able to sit around a round table, what iPod is supposed to be.
Yes.
Not the privileged, but the ones who would make a decision that moves us forward.
Yeah.
I think they're sitting today, they're having their sumbusas.
You see, the thing about that, which you're going to get into it, the iPod situation, is that where are the young people in this thing? Where are we in this thing?
There are caucuses. We need to have caucuses. My most important one is the mothers.
Yes.
The important day is coming.
Yes.
To an African, you talk about a woman, he undermines. But just discuss mother. The way Jaffa's heart softens. Mama, you have to say it the way we do. Mama! Using particular words and having a women's forum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the original Mothers Union.
Yeah.
They're very powerful.
Yeah.
And they've always been. Finca, organizations that drive economies.
Yeah.
Finca is massive.
Yeah.
It has brought a reality to microfinance.
Yeah.
Better than any other. All women see it as theirs.
Okay.
And then the youth.
Now,
who feel ostracized.
Because I
from
don't from the decision and from the discussion being given, I don't see anybody who is like me in my life, in my time, part of this discussion. That's not good for us to go forward. But I want to give credit because we've given credit to the father of the nation, Dr. Milton Obote, given credit to the king, and we don't want to give credit to the current president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
But forgot in mind the rogue who's my museum.
Oh, yes.
He implemented.
He is already there.
What I mean is he implemented whatever Pachu decided.
Yes.
In the interest of continuity.
Correct.
We have destroyed that patriotism.
Yes.
In the interest of
We
continuity.
have kept one of them. One of them that
Privilege.
Yes, which I think people need to discuss it. Perhaps this is where the elders come in. And Jeff, I want you to be very honest about this conversation, because I want to learn something from it.
Yeah.
It is said that when there was divide and rule going on in the continent called Uganda, there was a country called Uganda. Yes, you know we can transition to be a continent.
Of course.
Yes.
Because we think ethnically.
Thank you. And so they say that when there was that war and the division from 1962, my friend Albert Opio, Albert Opio Drywood Safari, thank you very much for always saying that. It says from 1962,
that is our beginning.
Always had a coup d'etat. Every 4 years there was a coup d'etat. So our sense of identity as a country, as a people,
has never
materialized. Never been materialized
at all.
It has never stuck into our mind that we are people. Until the 1980, around there was always a man called Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the mix. He was a young man. Mr. Byanyima described him otherwise in his book, in saying that the first time I saw him, when my daughter brought him, was
16
or 9 years old.
16 years old.
He said he was a very manipulative brain, and I asked my daughter, what devil have you brought home?
Ambitious. The word was ambitious.
Yes, but when he said that, but I've understood from my reading and understanding that there was a mistake that Obote was not able to see. Amin tried it. I understand that the foray into Amin becoming the president, he landed by mistake because he was being investigated.
No. That is the wrong notion that people put about Idi Amin.
Yes.
Idi Amin was earmarked in 1964 by the Israelites.
Yes.
As soon as they took him for training, they asked for his people.
Yes.
At the same time, he was training the Anyanyas in South Sudan. He learned about the issue of preparing yourself to take control. They used to call him the helmsman, the reliable helmsman.
Yes.
Haggai El Amin. Haggai. I'm talking Jewish, the Jews would understand that. But now, they always had 4 people on the list.
Yes.
People always forget my uncle, Onama Felix.
Yes.
He was the most important stalwart on the move to the left for the UPC party.
Yes.
Then we had this Muhima fellow.
Chris Rokasisi?
The other one, the one who was supposed to have invented the Ibingira.
Yes.
Grace Ibingira and Kakonge were pro-American.
Yes.
And then Onama and Butele were strongly the move to the.
How did you know this? Because when I was changing, you were
but you keep forgetting that Onama and Amin all ended up in exile. And when they sit and they start to talk with Onama, it's always like this.
So that is the elder's wisdom to
the wisdom is Mose had time. Remember at the end when he was trying to fish, had never fishing, but his fishing was actually imparting on new knowledge.
Yes. So
I had my ears got burnt from listening.
Okay.
Yeah?
And that's a good thing for as a young man.
Rarely, people rarely do that. And today people are like, rubbish. We don't need to hear these silverback stories.
So you see that we have learned that along the way, the one credit we must give to President Yoweri Museveni, because we were told that whereas Mzee Mwalimu Nyerere wanted to take the up against Obote, the Obote, Obote said the Ugandan army is very strong, just a matter of time, it's going to be. But anyway, the war was fought. But there was this one man who saw where the mistake was. And in the return of Obote, it is said that one time Obote appointed Smith Oponachak to be the army chief
But
of staff.
remember, Smith was a mean soldier.
Yes.
He didn't leave the country.
Yes, he didn't live, he died here, I'm told.
I'm saying throughout 71 to 79, he was an officer,
yes.
a serving officer.
So he appointed him as the army chief of staff because the army was divided, and we're trying to look for,
qualified.
yes, where is the issue of 4 years coup d'etat. So, but there was a one man looking into this thing, what I call the wisdom, what I call the witness of change. And that's why I believe that a witness of change that God placed over in Kaguta Museveni as a young man to see the mistakes that the British left. You know, every time you're planning something so deep, the Western one left something there. There was always somebody locally here God has planted. So Yoweri Kaguta Museveni saw it. That in order for us to remain together as a country, we need peace. And that's the peace we need to have today. So when he came into power, he built the nationalism in the army. We could no longer, we can quarrel among each other here, but if a common enemy comes, we shoot together.
The word should be unity.
Yes,
Nationalism
unity, yes.
is what's happening now.
It's unity, yes. But
When you say nationalism, then you get a lot of Biarohangas getting serious. We call them cobras. The red cobra.
But for me, away from that, just from my understanding as a young man, is that is what happened. So where is the credit to him? So we credit the father of the nation for being a futuristic thinker and all this stuff, and we credit the one Amin Dada for being the one who implemented the continuity of some of the plans that was there. And now we credit one man, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for putting the army together so that we can fight, and we have defended our territory to this day, and that's a credit. And since then, he has always remained as a fabric that holds things together. But
can I answer this?
please go on.
I see him as a Shakespearean Iago.
What does that mean to a young
An
man?
Iago is somebody who sees monarchists, socialists. Where do I put myself, position myself to enable me to get on the throne? His book reads like a Shakespearean novel. It reads like, how do I call it, The Prince.
Yes.
Machiavellian.
Yes.
It's somebody who realizes this man's patriotism will always make him defend the country. Not realizing he's hurting the country. So I liken my father to Othello, and I liken the new father of the nation today to an Iago who smiles and slices, but gets to the objective. Because he simply said, Amin ruled me for 2 days. We fought Amin. And he did. You know?
Yes.
He's more of a Sabalwanyi. He's a warrior.
Yes.
But it is time to now change the plowshares, the swords into plowshares.
But one thing we want to know is that, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Elders Wisdom Circle. My name is Eddie Okila. It's time for us to take a coffee break, and when we come back, Jaffa Raymond Amin will
I hope
dive
you
into
got
our
that
discussion
point.
right after this break.
From sword
yes.
to plowshares.
Yes.
It's time to... We despise, as herdsmen, we despise plowshares. It's like, who digs? Who's a digger? But it's time. It's
all right.
the season.
I want you to hold it right there. This is the Elders Wisdom Circle. My name is Eddie Okila, Jaffa Raymond. We're going for a break, and when we come back, we will discuss the last final bit of the show of the topic of today, which is already what we have been discussing. Needless to say,
But give pointers.
details,
Yes, the
and the
details.
pointers.
The
Stay right
devil's
there.
in the details.
Yes.